Hello, and welcome to Pet Central Media, a revolutionary media concept designed especially for you. I'm Emma.
And I'm David. And we're here to tell you some exciting news about Pet Central.
The pet care concept, which aims to meet the growing demand for the latest, most popular pet products and world-class professional pet care.
Pet Central creator Dr. Pauline Taylor aims to meet the challenge of this global surge in pet care and pet welfare, at home and abroad.
The whole concept of Pet Central is really to get everything for a pet owner or a pet parent nowadays together under one umbrella. So as vets we can advise people, and if we can't advise them ourselves we can at least direct them to the professional in that area, be it for grooming or for training or what's best at different stages in their life cycle.
Pet Central Media, the complete pet service concept that brings you care from the heart.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pauline Taylor. Welcome to our veterinary question and answers. We have a great question today, especially for Dr. Kurt Verkeis. Dr. Kurt will answer this question.
So, cats can scratch at their ears for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons that's well known is ear mites. And we see ear mites particularly in cats that have come from a multi-cat household, or cats that have been strays and been exposed to a lot of other cats, or been exposed to cats that aren't very well looked after. Ear mites tend to cause a brown or black mucky discharge that comes from both ears, but there are other things that can cause almost identical signs. So one of those is allergies. Cats that have got allergic skin disease will often scratch at their head or their neck or their ears, but they may have no discharge from the ears or nothing visible on the outside. Then finally we can see ear infections with bacteria or with yeast that can cause discharge in the ears and itchiness of the ears. Any of these conditions will cause discomfort to the cat, and the infections and the mites can damage the ear permanently and make it very difficult to treat in future. So they do need to be treated promptly, but first we need a diagnosis to know what it is that we're treating so that we can tailor treatment correctly. If you have any more questions, whether they're big questions or little questions or interesting questions or boring questions, please post them online and I'll be happy to answer them for you.
With the recent death of a cat from the avian flu, many people are concerned. The avian flu story literally changes day by day. Here's what we know right now. Previous studies to see if cats were affected by influenza viruses show cats to be very resistant. Many veterinarians consider cats to be unable to spread the deadly disease. However, since 2003, a small number of large cats, such as tigers and leopards, as well as isolated cases of house cats, have died after eating infected birds. Experts at the Cornell Feline Health Center do believe there is a measure of concern, but that Americans can rest assured that current risks to our cats are minimal. Keeping your cats indoors prevents them from eating wild birds, and avoid feeding them uncooked poultry. Other veterinarians warn that cat owners should be watching for gastrointestinal symptoms and unusual respiratory symptoms. Overall, experts agree that the risk of our cats spreading avian flu to us is minimal. But as always, they urge pet owners to use common sense and see their veterinarian at the earliest sign of disease. Remember, there have been no documented cases of humans getting avian flu from cats. For cat owners, it's just good advice. Keep your cats indoors and keep them current on all their vaccinations. I'm Dr. Jim Humphries reporting.
Socializing your puppy with other people and other dogs is really important because it really sets your puppy up for success throughout adulthood as well. The most important time to socialize your puppy is before 16 weeks of age. Now this can sometimes be difficult because 16 weeks of age is really the time when puppy gets all the vaccinations. But if you socialize in an environment that's safe for the puppy, then you'll be able to allow them to meet many different kinds of people in many different situations in many different environments. Make sure that when you greet, you have a nice loose leash. What we're allowing these dogs to do is smell each other. So first, as you saw when they greeted each other, they smelled each other around the muzzle. Then they smelled each other around the anogenital area. And these are the areas where a lot of smells are concentrated. And these puppies can tell a lot about each other with the way that they smell. They can tell the sex, the age, and the emotional state just from the pheromones that are located in the moist areas of the body, such as around the mouth. And that's why dogs sniff each other's bottoms, because a lot of those pheromones are concentrated around the anogenital area. Now the puppies are licking, and licking again is a social behavior. They're also practicing a few little dominance moves by putting the head over the shoulders of the other dog. This is not bad, they're just trying to establish where each other lies within this relationship. Sanford, who's the golden doodle puppy, lay down, showing he's no threat, and then Mojo elicited play by doing, as you can see, the play bow. Now this is the time when it probably would be appropriate to let the dogs play with each other. But what you don't want to have is one puppy to overpower the other so that one of the puppies gets a negative association with play. So we have to keep a close eye on it, as well as keeping as loose a leash as possible so we are as much out of the picture as possible. This is great now. As you can see, Mojo is sniffing the ground. Sniffing is a displacement behavior, which basically shows the other dog that, hey, this is cool, we're playing, we're hanging out, I'm no threat to you, you're no threat to me. It's sort of establishing this relationship. Now, as you could see, Mojo went down into his play bow again. He wants to have interaction. He wants Sanford to come play with him. Now what we're going to do now, the next stage of this, is the puppies seem to be pretty relaxed and comfortable with each other, is that we are going to drop the leashes. We're not going to take the leashes off them at this moment because we want to make sure that play is appropriate. So we're just going to drop the leashes like this, allow the pups to do what they want. Now what I'm going to do now is Joyce and I are going to remove the leashes completely. And we're going to see if the dogs interact and play with each other. And it's fine if the dog comes back to gain confidence from the owner. Now you can see that Mojo is saying, come play with me, come play with me. If you think that play is getting too rough, or you think that one of the puppies, like Mojo was doing just there, got a little bit upset and was starting to tell that to the other puppy, as Mojo was telling Sanford, and then Sanford wasn't backing off, that's the time when you just come in and you separate them. You always want the pups to have a good experience during play, and that's how you socialize your puppy positively.
Do pets talk? Stay tuned for that and more on Pet Central.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pauline Taylor. Welcome to our veterinary question and answers. We have a great question today. Dr. Reanne is going to give you her answer.
我就唔建議隨便餵飼呢啲郊外嘅馬騮，因為如果我哋經常咁餵飼佢哋嘅話咧，係會令到佢去覓食嘅意欲咧越嚟越減低啦。咁亦都令到佢唔再驚人類。咁有陣時佢哋如果真係衝出馬路去搶嘢食嘅話咧，有機會傷害到人類，亦都令到自己有危險嘅。咁所以我建議同呢啲野生嘅馬騮保持距離。咁同埋因為佢哋係受到漁農署嘅法例咧嘅保護。其實隨便餵飼呢啲郊外嘅馬騮，其實係會觸犯到佢嘅法例，最嚴重係會罰款1萬蚊嘅。咁所以我絕對唔建議隨便餵飼啲馬騮嘅。我都唔建議隨便接觸一隻受傷嘅馬騮，因為佢哋可能喺受傷嘅時候，因為痛楚而個性情會大變，可能有機會影響到你啦。咁同埋有機會佢哋係有傳染病，都有機會係傳染到俾人類嘅。咁所以我建議喺安全嘅情況下咧，盡快通知漁護署，咁佢哋會去派專人嚟幫助你㗎啦。如果有咩問題，隨時問我哋啦，我哋好歡迎為你解答嘅。
Almost everyone has heard about LASIK eye surgery and other medical procedures using a laser. But few are aware of how lasers are actually helping our pets. Now, your veterinarian may not be Obi-Wan Kenobi, but the chances are getting better that he or she really knows how to handle a laser. Lasers seem to be everywhere today. Used for measuring distances, entertainment, and even eye surgery, you can easily find lasers at your local doctor's office and now even at your family veterinarian. As early as the 1960s, human surgeons were touting the benefits of laser surgery. But recent advances have brought lasers into animal surgery. Because of their precision, lasers limit the amount of damage done to surrounding tissues. This also helps minimize swelling and inflammation. Lasers control bleeding by sealing all the small blood vessels that might otherwise ooze and leak. And laser surgery can actually reduce post-operative complications that are due to infection. But the biggest advantage in laser surgery for our pets is the increase in comfort level. Lasers seal nerve endings, stopping the pain impulse and lessening the discomfort. And pets who are more comfortable are ready to go home sooner, with less pain and the reduced need for extra medication. Although veterinarians have used lasers for cosmetic surgery, one of the most common uses of lasers has been in declawing cats. Veterinarians and cat owners have found that the use of these lasers decrease recovery time dramatically. Cat owners marvel at how quickly their pets recover from the declawing procedure, and although the use of a laser may cost a little more, the benefits are worth it, and it's the future. I'm Dr. Jim Humphries reporting.
Allowing your puppy to meet and greet other dogs allows your puppy to build up a language of communication with those other dogs. It's really important now to not only socialize your puppy with other puppies, but with adult dogs too. And again, I do this on the leash. I'm using my dog Sadie here. It's really interesting because when Sadie sniffed just then, she was sniffing where Mojo had toileted. So she was getting information about him before she even met him. Again, you can see that they're greeting each other first by sniffing each other around the face, and then Sadie wanted to get information about Mojo by sniffing his behind. All the time, these dogs are picking up information about each other. Mojo is giving Sadie a really nice calming signal, just lying down, saying, "Hey, I'm no threat. Don't be a threat to me." Sadie's a real ground sniffer. She gets a lot of information about her world by sniffing on the ground around her. This is especially important if you've got a dog that's nervous of greeting other dogs. If you just have your dog in an area sniffing where that other dog that you want it to greet has been, that means that your dog is already getting information about the other dog that they're going to greet. Again, Joyce and I are keeping the leashes very, very relaxed. I wouldn't do this kind of greeting with extendable leashes or really, really long leashes. I think a 4 to 6 foot leash is enough because you don't want to get those leashes tangled. The longer they are, the more tangled they're going to get. I think we can get to the point now where we can let them both off. Good. This is nice now because Sadie's really investigating Mojo. Now they're going nose to nose. Mojo is giving submission. This was really good because Mojo was going on his back, submitting. But see how he wasn't being forced by Sadie. He did it under his own volition. And he did it just to tell her, "I'm no threat to you, please don't be a threat to me," by showing the most vulnerable part of him, which is his stomach. And Sadie then sniffed him. She was wanting again to get more information about him. You'll find that with older dogs, and Sadie's a pretty old dog, she's about 11 years old now, that you'll find that puppies tend to follow older dogs around. And in a way, it's nice because Sadie's a pretty laid-back dog, and she's also giving him signals and teaching him. So she's also telling him that she's no threat by turning her head away, averting her eyes, walking away from him. But she's also allowing him to be close to her. And you need a good teacher like this. I think it's really important that puppies don't just get to socialize with other puppies, but that they also get to socialize with older dogs that can teach them lessons. If your dog does not get important socialization, your dog will never know how to interact appropriately with other dogs. So socialization like this is so important. If you didn't do anything else with your dog, socialization is the most important thing to do because it sets your puppy up for a lifetime of being able to cope with other dogs coming into its area, greeting other dogs, hanging out with other dogs, going to doggy daycare, going on walks with other dogs, having other dogs into their home on their territory. If you do not socialize a puppy before it's 16 weeks old, in general, what you'll find is that puppy doesn't learn canine language, and it becomes much harder for that puppy to be able to greet other dogs. If you can socialize your puppy to other dogs and other puppies before 16 weeks old, and that puppy has great experiences, that is going to be the most important lesson that your puppy can learn.
Need a vet? Go to PetCentral.com and find a participating veterinarian in your area. They're ready and waiting to help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pauline Taylor. Welcome to our veterinary question and answers. We have a great question today. I'm going to answer this question. I'd just like to say it's not just bones that some dogs show this behaviour. It can be any resource that the dog thinks is valuable. It can be a food bowl, it can be a toy, it can be another animal in the family, it can be the front door of the house or the garden area. The dog is very, very anxious that that resource is going to be taken away from him. So inside, in his body, physiological changes take place and the dog becomes anxious. The pupils can dilate, the ears can go back, the hair can go up, and he can snarl, he'll show his teeth, and if provoked enough, he'll bite. My advice is your dog should never be in this situation. You should never allow anybody, including yourself, to get bitten by a dog resource protecting. In some instances, you just cannot give your dog a resource. If it's a resource you can't avoid, like his food bowl, you have to monitor very carefully where he's fed, and he gets peace, he gets left alone when he's eating. Don't try and, as I say, push the envelope and touch the food bowl without fully being trained in what to do. What you're describing is a very serious situation. I'd like you to seek professional help from a trainer or a veterinary surgeon if this really is a problem with your dog at home.
各位寵物主人，你哋好，我係 Patrick， 佢係 Bunny。呢度係 Pet Central 嘅寵物諮詢平台，歡迎你哋作出任何嘅提問，有關寵物嘅問題或者醫護上嘅問題，我哋好歡迎解答你嘅問題。
When you hear the word rabies, you may conjure up pictures of that Hollywood creation, that salivating dog Cujo. But because of misconceptions about vaccination and the wildlife reservoir for the rabies virus, this is a disease that still has lethal consequences. Everyone understands that rabies is a deadly disease, but few fully comprehend how lucky we are. Worldwide, rabies still kills 55,000 people every year. That's one person dying every 10 minutes. Sadly, children under 15 account for half of those deaths. But rabies is rare here in the United States and Canada, and the CDC has even declared dog rabies extinct. So, should we worry about rabies? And should we continue vaccinating our pets? Well, the answer is absolutely yes. Although the dog strain of rabies might be extinct here in the U.S., thousands of wild animals, cats, and even livestock are infected by rabies every year, and they can infect you and your pet with a single exposure. World Rabies Day is an effort to help raise awareness. Each September, thousands of people and organizations from across the world come together, reinforcing a message that we can defeat rabies worldwide. Eliminating rabies starts with you, the pet owner. Be sure to vaccinate your pet by local laws and your veterinarian's guidelines. Recommend that your friends and fellow pet owners also vaccinate routinely. Next, avoid stray animals and wildlife. Call a professional to help you remove any unwanted animals from your property. And finally, seek proper medical attention for any animal bite, especially bat bites. Rabies is 100% preventable when treatment is sought early. Remember, continued vigilance is necessary if we're going to fully defeat this ancient killer. Now, this is such a serious disease that we cannot overemphasize awareness and the importance of vaccination. I'm Dr. Jim Humphreys reporting.
Allowing your puppy to greet lots of different kinds of people allows your puppy to be confident and adapt to meeting people into adulthood. It also shows that when they meet people, good things happen to them, building up a positive association. Introduce your puppy to people of all different races, ages, and the different sexes. Puppies and dogs can get freaked out by the simplest things that we people take for granted, such as people in hats, people with beards, wearing sunglasses, backpacks on their backs, carrying umbrellas, all kinds of things. So, during the socialization process, have people wear different kinds of clothing so that the puppy adapts well to them. If you don't socialize a puppy with people or other dogs or even other animals before 16 weeks of age, they can build up a fear. So you really need to expose them in a pleasurable way so as not to overwhelm them, but to give them good experiences as much as you can before that socialization window is cut off. Because if your puppy has good experience meeting these kind of people, that means they'll be able to adapt very well as they grow into adults. And that's how you socialize your puppy positively.